Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. January, no, not January. It's 2020. No, it's not the COVID years. February 12th, 2024. It's 2 days until Valentine's Day when all us guys are in trouble. No guitar intro today. I still don't know how to play the guitar. Welcome to the house. Good morning, everybody. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting DYOR Live again here on the DYOR Media Network. Once again, it's February 12th, 2024. We're cranking through the year, and Bitcoin is cranking. Topic of today's show, can it continue? Does this say 49,000 above my head up here? Is that what that says? 49,000. 1 year ago, we were talking much less than that. Much less. And no, I didn't buy then. I should have, and I didn't. But it's going to be a good show for you today. No guests today, just Pedro and I talking. Speaking of Pedro, got Pedro in the house. Good morning, Pedro.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up, guys? Man, we did see some volume pop in this weekend. I am impressed.
I was watching this weekend. I was like, oh my god, and I was busy. Had nothing to do with the market going on, and I was like, oh man, I got no money in this.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think this is a beautiful sign that things are getting moving. At this level here, that's an interesting level that they decided to come in. It's halfway in between. They came in and they pushed some pretty big volume into this level here to see it get it going. So I'm impressed with that. That's something that it was something that I'm like, okay, here we go. We're seeing some volume coming in. It's not extravagant volume, right, comparative to times in the past, but it's volume. It's volume coming in, and we're seeing it push up. Like I've talked about, if we do get up into this level here, we're gonna most likely bust through this level and come up to that 59, 57, 59 area. That's the next real level. So we could see it pop, and we could see another sell-off, kind of like what we saw here, and then from there see it continue up, or see a final retracement back into the lows that we've talked about. I know I keep talking about that.
I don't know if there's gonna be a retracement. Maybe we'll talk about this a little later on the show.
Absolutely.
Talk
about also please hit that like, subscribe button.
Let's hit that like button, everybody. Welcome everybody in the show. I forgot to launch my comment system, so all the comments that you've already posted, I can't post on the screen. But Mr. Lawton, thank you for joining us. I still don't have a sound for it. I got to get an Irish Spanish sound of some sort. I don't know how to do that.
Man, I'm Irish Spanish, man.
Irish Spanish, something like that.
I'm Irish, Italian, and Mexican, man. Lawton!
We got Chuck Doc in the house. Using the whole fist there. I gotta chill. The volume of that one's too low. Kaching's in the house. Thank you very much, Kaching. Arjan, good morning. Let us know where you're coming from. You seem to be new to us. We got a great interactive show here. We love to hear from the audience. Take all sorts of comments and questions, and you can yell at us and do whatever you want. I gotta tell you, Pedro, before we get into things, I found that yesterday during the Super Bowl, Mrs. Striking and I may have made a table full of gluttony of really snacky snack meals. Wings, really? Cheesy balls, cheese this, that, just lots of stuff. Yeah, she's reminding me I lost the bet also. I bet on the 49ers. Lost at the last moment. Yeah. But in the middle of the Pit Monk, you're not late. Welcome to the show, Pit Monk.
What up, Pit?
Pedro, they say you got lots of echo. I don't hear it though, guys.
I don't hear it too.
Guys, let us know if you're hearing Pedro echo.
So if I start talking, you guys hear major echo. So it sounds like if I go like.
Here,
did I do? I don't know. I'm all good on my end. I don't know what's going on. Gotta let me know. Yeah, I just went silent now.
Pedro, you got a nice echo here. Give me a second to fix it. Keep talking.
So maybe you've got me playing on another end, right? So you have me echoing. So did you take the part on your end? And sometimes it'll double loop. Yes, echo. Ooh, everybody hears an echo. That's not good. Well, no time like the present to always do a loop to a beat when you echo.
It's not just an echo. It sounds like you're in the baseball stadium.
Oh, really? All right.
It's better. I don't know what's causing it. I'll work on it here.
All right, guys.
Like I said, we don't always get it right here. Just before this, Pedro was saying, "Hey, Tom, I'm glad you put a lot of effort in the show and attention to detail. Not all the time." I don't know.
Well, how about I leave and I'll come back in? Let's see what's going on.
All right, do that. See what happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see about that. Why would Pedro be again? Anyway, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming on. Chuck says it's Super Chat Monday. Get those dollar bills ready, y'all. Well, thanks, Chuck. Thanks for shilling for us. And now Pedro and I don't have to shill. I mean, that makes it so much easier when someone else shills for you. I really appreciate it. Anyway, I do want to let everybody know. I just heard me mention it that I did lose the bet for the Super Bowl. And Mrs. Striking has a distant connection to the Chiefs, so she picked the Chiefs, and she likes the Mahone, but for some reason doesn't like his wife. We don't know about that, but we'll get into that later. Maybe not. No. Anyway, so she picked the Chiefs, and so I had to pick the 49ers, so we would have a little rivalry. And I thought I was doing pretty well. You know, the Chiefs weren't looking that great for a lot of the show there. And then the last drive, they looked like Notre Dame when they're losing to Nebraska or something like that. And then they just drive down the field at will and score. And I knew it when that guy missed the point after for the 49ers. Did everyone else go, oh, that'll cost them the game, that 1 point, because that's how that works? Yeah, as they said, the great karma button was pressed there, and he missed the point after. I mean, come on. The guy had made 68 straight, and then the Super Bowl chokes it, and they lose. They would have won. Well, it wasn't fate that they were going to win or lose because of it, but that 1 point was whether they went into the playoffs or the overtime or not. Of course, if the Chiefs were down by 4, they wouldn't have kicked the field goal. They would have gone for it, and there's a high chance they would have made it. Anyway, Pedro has not come back yet. I wonder where he went. He probably rebooted, and it's probably my fault sending his voice out twice. I don't know why. Pedro, where are you? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the topic of today's show is obviously BTC and it pumping. If we go to supposed to be doing this Pedro's chart here. If we think about it, a month ago we were at $38,000, and now we're at 49, getting ready to break 50. We're above like all the moving averages except one, and there's no real resistance on the upside here. And the buy pressure from Grayscale is off, and the money's still coming into the ETFs. So we're looking at potentially the start of the bull run, actually, right here. This is my Pedro will have a little different chart analysis of it, but it's my firm belief that there might be a little consolidation sideways and all that, but this market's ready to go. It's ready to cook off the firecrackers being lit, and it's going to boom. And I think we finally got rid of all the oogies out of it. We got rid of the SEC doing its thing. We got rid of everybody else that had a problem with. I didn't realize the music is so loud. Sorry about that. And so I firmly believe that we're gonna be here on the the beginning of the bull run here. Well, what showed it? Oh, that's Matic. You know what? So someone told me the other day that Matic was about to boom, and I was like, look at this chart. It's going down here. It's coming down. It's coming down. It's coming down. He's like, it's getting ready. It's getting ready to cook off. I'm like, yeah, it's getting ready to cook off. All right, boom. I can't remember if there was anyone in here that kept talking about Matic. Chuck, was it you that was invested in Matic? I can't remember. Let's see. Let me get these charts back. Let's find the BTC chart. Ka-ching! Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Let's find the ka-ching. Thank you, ka-ching, and we will get the holla, ladies and oh, wait. I just turned that off so we didn't get the Pedro. Sometimes. All right, let's try that again. Ka-ching in the house. Jerry, thank you very much. Really appreciate the super chats. I can't thank you enough for doing that for everybody that does that, including you, ka-ching. Let's get that message up on the board here. I do appreciate the time you guys take to give us news with the occasional moments of just shooting the shit. Thanks very much, Derek. Appreciate it. And if I can find Pedro here, if his computer didn't explode, then well. That's what was playing in the background. Twitch was playing in the background. You've not played my entry music in a while either. Yeah, you know, Pedro says. Pedro, no, apparently I can't hear you. Hold on, let me get back to that screen. Pedro in the house?
Hey, you guys can hear me?
Yeah.
Is there an echo? So what was the issue? Can you hear me?
Yes, it sounds like you're in a... I must be routing your sound through the voice mod, that special effects thing or something. It's like you're like, now batting in the bottom of the ninth inning, Pedro Garcia.
Oh, dude, I don't know. I literally went through. I checked everything.
No, it's not you. I'm sure it has to be. It has to be me here, and I can't figure out why. Let's turn the sound effect machine off here for now. See if that does it.
Hello, can you hear me now? Is that better, guys? Am I echoing? Still echoing. Hello. Nope. I don't know, dude. Like, I came in with everything normal. I haven't changed anything. I went to go see if it was, kind of reset my computer.
No, I don't think it's you. I think it's but I don't have anything routing the sound here. Let me.
By the way, while we're waiting, as I echo, happy Chinese New Year to all those in China and who celebrate it throughout the world.
Hey, I fixed it.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got Pedro back. We got the sound back. Yeah, Ka-ching says no more echo. Pedro, while you were gone, we were blessed by Senor Derek. Ka-ching, king, ka-ching. Gave us a $5 super chat, and he says, I do appreciate the time you guys take to give us news for the occasional moments of just shooting the shit. Yes. Absolutely, yes. Thank you very much. And Chuck says, Pedro now sounds magical. Magical.
And this is a shout out to Tom.
Is magic.
And just so you guys know, this is all just a shout out to Tom right now. No, wait. Oh, wait, what is it?
What the hell are you doing? It's like some Arabian death music.
Yo, that's what was it? That's the
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is the entertainment you get. And if you can see here back here, we have BTC popping over 50,000 on let's see what exchange is this? London L-Bank exchange. Let's see if CoinMarketCap still has it. CoinMarket, yeah, look at that. They busted over 50,000 also. Okay, what a good day to be talking about BTC.
right? BTC, aka Mr. Beast, aka Shiba Inu, Bitcoin, BTC.
Let's see quickly. R. Jan. What do you got? Some motorcycles in your profile picture there?
Yeah.
Motorcycle rider, driver right here.
Thanks, brother. Oh, yeah.
Where are you coming to us from? Or how'd you find us? One of the Telegram rooms, the great internet? Just always let us know because we're always trying to expand our reach. If you're friends with someone else, just let us know. And if you don't want to tell us anything that's specific, just make something up.
Yeah, just be like I always say, people, and this is the truth. Right now I'm in cold or northeast, but I would love to be on the beaches of the West Coast, chilling, or in Santorini. So,
Santorini.
Santorini, or on the beach of
San
San
you can't
Diego.
say it with a Mexican accent, Pedro. It's got
Santorini. Que bueno. Orale, vato. Orale, que nar.
Alicia and Daryl are like this. Oh no, the poor Spanish language. It's being brutalized.
Well, this is Mexican, bro. It's Spanish. I mean, it's Mexican Spanish.
Arjan just says no. Hey, that counts too. But feel free to talk, ask questions, all that type of stuff. And of course, bring all your friends. Bring all of your friends. Let's see. Maybe some new people from the Stag stopping by today. That's a new project getting started. Would love to hear from them. And later, I told the people in the Operation Phoenix shill group that we would find a time on the show to talk about them and let them know when we would do that so that they would come in then and do that. But Pedro, while you were restarting, I was talking about BTC. And I just got into it since I didn't know how long you're going to be. It's my belief that the bull run is now officially starting, and that we may see a little consolidation or a little profit taking here and there, but we're not going to really be going down much. And if I recall, I was looking at a chart, and I know I'm not the master, but BTC is above most of its moving averages now, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
And so BTC being above, and it's getting, starting to get the volume coming back and all that. And when we see those things, it doesn't look like there's a downside. Before last week we were talking about potentially being down. We did say it was going to go back into the 38s down in that way, and it started down that road. And then all of a sudden the grayscale volume selling stopped. And so we had a little fundamental change in the whole thing, and that kind of went, ooh, I think things are going to change a little bit. And they did. And so with grayscale, they're selling kind of easing or have stopped. The ETF money is coming in, and those companies are still having to acquire Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. And now that the price is going up and approaching its all-time high quickly, other people, let's face it, the FOMO is going to kick in too, right? All the other brokerages that'll be like, God, everyone just, we're fighting for 5%, and all my buddies just made 100%. We got to get in this too. So the FOMO is going to kick in. And without just looking at your chart, I'm just kind of giving it the idea that doesn't seem to be any resistance up there. And I don't mean from looking at the liquidity maps or anything like that, or past bounces or head and shoulders or teacups or Bart Simpsons or anything like that. I'm just talking about from the general fundamentals of it. To me, it doesn't seem like there's anything else. I'll get your chart back up here, and that we're ready for not the $100,000 boom, but at least the race to a new all-time high here pretty quickly.
Well, here's my thing. Okay, so most Americans do know about Bitcoin, right? So I've been looking at the credit because, as we all know, America likes credit, and our credit has been peaking. So I think we're at 1 point.
Welcome, Jason Spurgis. Welcome. So happy to be here. We're happy that you are here.
Definitely, brother. Thanks for being here, brother. And one of the things I was looking at is there's a new form of lending called hypothecation. I think that's how you say it. And it's being created, and basically what it is people take your home and you're able to lend it to another friend, and then that friend can lend it to the bank because that friend has XYZ good credit score. That's it in a nutshell. And then it gets repackaged in as some new form of, long story short, way to sell kind of like MBSs and CDOs. Okay, so you guys remember that one part in the Wolf of Wall Street when he's about to give up, right? And he's about to give everything going, or he's about to give everything up. It's like halfway through, and his dad talks him in, right? And so he goes up there, and it's a somber moment in the Wolf of Wall Street. And as he's talking, he starts to go in, and he starts to talk about how, I remember so-and-so was poor, and now you're this. And all of a sudden, he starts to really kind of get himself up and running and get himself going. And then all of a sudden, he switches it. And instead of him saying, all right, guys, I'm retiring, and, we're no longer going to do this.
Yeah.
He literally goes and goes, let's go. We're going to, and he just, how do I explain it? Just ruins himself, right? That's pretty much the start of the end for him.
Yep.
Yeah, that's basically what happened. Yeah, they were supposed to go down. Some stuff was supposed to happen, but lo and behold, new financing, and
get that money out.
And then in additionally to that, we're seeing a high end. Now again, I'm not a fundamentalist, but when I see the credit card rate at 1.3 trill, and at the peak of 2008, before the fall and the crash, where everybody was high on the hog, it was about 900 billion. So when you look at the fact that we're really just skyrocketing in debt, and then additionally to that, U.S. debt, we're seeing a drop in the U.S. dollar, kind of just floundering around where we're at. It does boast for potentially another boom. And if I know I can get credit, I know that was a lot to say, but if I can go out and get credit now with that, and what am I going to buy? Am I going to buy simple stocks, or am I going to buy crypto?
Right. Imagine that. Imagine taking a loan out.
Bro,
buy crypto. Traditional finance guys' heads will just pop right out. It'll never happen.
It's absolutely
happening.
Dude, I remember during the past bull run where this was in 2007 when it was sitting at 20,000. This guy, he lived in Greenwich, Connecticut. Okay, if you guys know where that is, that's a Costco. If anybody understands where that is, I'm Ubering. I drop him off, and he goes, "You're into crypto?" I go, "No, not really. I'm more of a day trader. Just kind of, I play." And he looks at me and he goes, "Oh, it's going to 1 million." And I go, "Well, it's kind of peaking here." And I've told this story before, but it ended up going down to 3,000. Well, that's what's going to happen. Like we will probably see Bitcoin get to 300,000, maybe 200,000, right? I know that's a lot, but like we may see that. But like we all know, what happens after it explodes? It sells off. And
well, yeah, I mean, people will take profits. There'll be a scandal or two. Shitty companies that did use leverage and credit will blow up once the price go up thing stops. And so, there's always the downside to it. Jason says Bitcoin looking awesome. Chuck says my gypsy wife gave me.
I love it.
Wait, I gotta read this one. It gave me a green stone that was blessed and said, "Bring us all good fortune." Been rubbing the stone all morning and BTC flies. Coincidence? I don't think so, Chuck. I think the whole crypto world actually revolves around this green stone in the center of the United States. Is it related to like the Blarney Stone? Has some moss on it from thousands of people kissing the Blarney Stone?
Dude, but it's just really interesting to see. And also there's so much cool news actually happening this weekend, right? By the way, I honestly thought that the Chiefs were going to win. I'm not a Chiefs fan, I'm a Raiders fan, as everybody know. But I was kind of glad to see Mahone really kind of step in after last year, kind of like dealing and hurting his ankle and all that other stuff, right? It was actually I was glad to see him win this one. And dude, it was we're talking overtime and
Yep.
the whole entire dude.
It
It
had
was
everything
good.
going for it. This Super Bowl wasn't a blowout. Wasn't at first, we thought that Kansas City was just not doing it well, and all of a sudden, it just started working for them, and you're like, oh crap.
Dude, he kicked in, man. He was not playing. He's like, I'm not gonna repeat this, dude. This is game on. There's no way. So I have to give it up to him. It was actually really cool.
Just another. But what I didn't realize is how few people have. That's 2 in a row he's won, and they've won 3 out of the last 5 or something like that, or been the Super Bowl 3 out.
Yep.
And not only that, but the Taylor Swift show. I mean, who's their boyfriend, the huge guy?
Yeah, big guy. Yeah.
What's his
I
name?
forget his name. I don't.
I keep calling him John Cleese in my head, the actor, the comedian from Monty Python. Kelsey.
Chelsea, there you go.
But he's got more stats than Jerry Rice, I think now, and stuff like that. I mean, like in the awesome world. And I hadn't watched him that much. I'm not a Kansas City fan, and I don't watch football that much. But when he was running with the ball once, and this nice 49er guy, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he came over and dug his shoulder into it. Mm-hmm. Kelsey just kind of went, silly boy, come on, that's not going to work. And the guy, 49er's on the ground with his shoulder all busted up. And I was like, this guy is a freight train. And no wonder he has such good
run
stats.
Away. Dude, he's so big and he's so quick. It's his agility. Dude, I was watching him. I don't watch football much. I'm not into football, whatever, right? I'm more on finances and looking at charts. But watching him move for such a big guy, it's a runaway train, bro. He's ridiculous. And dude, the fact is that he's got the most famous person on the face of the earth right now dating her, bro. Dude, this guy could run for president and probably win.
Right.
He won the Super Bowl. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do now that you won the Super Bowl? I'm running for president.
All I know is that the TV executives, when they watched the playoffs forming, when they won the division championship 2 weeks ago, and Taylor Swift and him had the famous kiss in the field. The sponsor, the ad executives that sell the ad spots, and the whole Super Bowl NFL crew was like, praise Jesus! They all got to church in there because they're like, the mother lode of marketing, cross marketing has just showed up. The most popular, well, outside of maybe BTS, but Taylor Swift and the Swifties combined with the Super Bowl, they're like, you can't. How can you ask for anything better than that? And for marketing purposes, and then it was just they just played right into it. And it was hard. You could see that the camera would be like going over to Taylor Swift a lot, and then the director's like, "Come on, guys, football game," and and like, or even at the end of the game when they cut to Taylor Swift. I mean, here these guys slaved out all year, or their whole career. Some of them got to the Super Bowl and won, and they show Taylor Swift up there, and like, hey, how about showing the guys that won?
dude, I literally had a friend of mine was telling me literally that he had gone to one of the games where Taylor Swift was at, and literally there was a whole entire seating area where she sits, right? They go up and all they do is look up. They don't even pay attention to the game. They literally just look up at her. We're talking a cult like they see her as like the next baby Jesus, bro. Like it's real, bro. Like, and he was sitting there going, that is the most creepiest thing. And it's great, basically girls in between ages of like 12, 13 to like 23. Like it's like nuts. You're just like, holy crazy, this is nuts. like nosebleed sections. People are literally spending upwards of like $1,500 just to go to her concert, bro. Like I'm impressed. Like, how does somebody get? I don't know,
but my daughter and her group of friends, and their group of friends' moms.
Yep.
They're all crazy about Taylor Swift. I mean, all of them. They're all crazy.
Dude, it's real. Like the Swift thing is real. I was sitting there going like, why is she like doing something in the movie theater? Who's gonna watch that? I gotta take my friend. I'm working with my friend, and we go to the
Space
movie.
Cat. Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for joining us.
What up, Space Cat? It's good to see you, brother. And so all of a sudden we go in, man, and there's I'm talking a super line. Like this thing was around the whole entire movie theater waiting to see, and we're sitting there and I'm like kind of went and going like, what is going on? And then all of a sudden I realized they're all wearing, like the little girls are wearing like the shirts and all this stuff. And I'm sitting there going, wow, that is impressive. Like I've never seen, I mean, unless it's Star Wars, right? Where the thing's been around for like 50 years. Where people,
it's absolutely crazy. And I have a couple of inside stories, but one of them is that they, a while ago, people were like, well, this whole thing about her fans and all this type isn't sincere. It's just a marketing ploy, and it's just, the marketing people are doing that, and they just tell her what to say and all this. And she's always, talking about, I mean, she cultivated this crazy fandom. And, for the life of me, I couldn't even name one Taylor Swift song. If I heard a couple, of course I could say, hey, that's Taylor Swift now, because you hear it so often. But
honestly, I kind of like her old stuff.
Yeah, I was working in the previous life in the defense world. I was working on a project. My old company had built the Ground Force One, the armored the buses for the. Yeah. If you remember the black buses that the Secret Service uses, I built those in a different life. And my company did the engineering and the armoring for them. But another company in Nashville did the outfitting of it on the inside of it, because that's what their specialty was, doing that. And down there, like the first time we meet, because we're both contracted for this by the government, and he's like, okay, we got to show you this one configuration of the inside of another bus, because they make them for all the Nashville stars and all this type of stuff. And we go in the bus and we're like, this isn't really what we're looking for. We need examples of this, and this. All right, well, let's go over in this bus. This one's in for service. And so we go in it, and they're pointing out the things and where certain stuff is. And I was like, yeah, that's what we're looking for. And I'm like, what? Wait, whose bus is this? And they're like, well, we can't really say. I'm like, is this Taylor Swift's bus? And they all broke out in a smile. And they're like, yeah, it is. And they said it's one of hers, but this is the one she uses on tour. And on her mirror, and this is public information because she's tweeted this and put it on Instagram and stuff. On her mirror on her desk, in her bus, is all pictures of her fans, like hundreds of them, all taped up and stuff. So she just has like this little oval to look through when she's doing her makeup and stuff. And I'm like, this is true, the whole fans thing. And everyone's like, yes. They're like, yeah, no, she's like that with us at the bus company. That's how she is. And I was like,
she's
wow.
not a dick. She's a
right.
real person.
I was like, wow, all this stuff is genuine. They're like, oh yeah, that's why she's growing like crazy. It's all genuine. I was like, wow.
I respect that.
Yeah, I respect that a lot. Carmen Crypto says, good morning. That's one of my Taylor Swift stories. Good morning, Chumbalones. Thank you very much. Carmen? Wait, I think I did get a, hold on. I think I did get a sound for you, Carmen, there. It's hard to hear, but it was a bunch of sparkles.
Oh, we got to work it. Come on.
I know we're going on. It's Monday. We're going on little side things and this type of stuff. Yeah. But Carmen was in Vegas all weekend here. And Vegas was crazy town with the Super Bowl. Yeah. Carmen, give us some inside scoop on the craziness of Vegas for the Super Bowl. And it's been a long time since I've been to Vegas. And the last time I was there, I think they were just starting the construction of the stadium. And I had to go back on Street View and see where it was. And then I remembered, oh yeah, it's up on the south end of the strip by the Mandalay Bay and the airport, that direction. And then it's right behind the Mandalay, in a big area that was just tumbleweed for a long time. And now it's this big gleaming stadium and all this type of stuff. And then I started looking at the live feeds from Vegas and all that, and I was like, this place is absolutely bonkers. Carmen, let us know what was going on. Kaching says hi, Carmen.
That's awesome. You know what's funny is from now, I always do like the algorithm, and I sit there and I'll say like, Bitcoin and Mr. Beast and all, like Zach Humphreys and stuff like that, just to mess around. I'm gonna start saying literally, I'm Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift, TW,
Swifties, Taylor Swift, Swifties.
There you go, got a new one. But it's actually really interesting. Also over the weekend, I guess Mr. Carlson Tucker is a banned man for interviewing Mr. Putin. What do you think about that nonsense?
Did the EU sanction him? Is that what's going on?
I don't know. I didn't fully read through. I was so busy this morning, I didn't catch up on everything else. But I was paying attention to that, and then it got caught up with a bunch of other personal stuff. But
the EU was talking about sanctioning him, which means he can't travel, and EU people in the EU countries can't do business with him at all. And Twitter, which he broadcasts on, will have to be blocked. His stream will have to be blocked in EU countries. That's what happens if he gets sanctioned there, and in fact, Twitter would say you can't even do business with him. It would effectively, I think, cancel his channel there too. It's very interesting, and I don't know if they went through it. I just knew they were talking about it.
What do you think about this? I mean, look, it's not that. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, remember those actors that basically went to Kim Jong-un and did a whole entire documentary on him, and you had the basketball guy with the crazy hair go over there and hang out with them, and I'm just like, why are you like messing with? And listen, I don't necessarily like Tucker Carlson, right? I don't like him, but the reality is this: is that like I don't think like now you make him somebody of interest to me. The fact that you're blocking him, that you're doing all these things, then it makes me want to know, why are you doing that? I mean, am I wrong, or I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts are that he is the village idiot, and his village is large. And that's the problem. He started his fan base over at Fox News by taking small stories and blowing them into big things, or taking little things out of context and making giant stories around them. And he knows he's not a dumb guy. He went to Harvard or something like that, and one of those Ivy League schools. I firmly believe he understands that most of the stuff he says is controversial and brimstone and fire just for ratings. And a good example of that was when the emails came out and text messages came out in which he said, talking about the fake election stuff, and when he admitted that, yeah, we all know that that whole fake election thing is just a made-up story. He said, but we have to keep talking about it on the air, otherwise our viewers will go to another channel. They'll go to Newsmax or Oath or those other super right-wing channels. So we got to keep talking about it as if it's true. And so even though he was confronted with the truth that the whole thing was a lie, he's on record saying, no, it's not. And these Dominion, the voting machine people, actually did scam everybody. And the voting machine people, no, we didn't, and we're going to sue you. And they sued him they sued Fox for like $4 billion or something, and they settled on just under $1 billion. And so even he's a person that willingly takes advantage of people for profit, and that's not right. I mean, I can see exploiting a market, but not exploiting people that kind of aren't smart enough to figure it out themselves and want to blame other people. Not that I'm categorizing a certain group of people that vote a certain way, but once he was confronted with the truth, he ignored it for profit. And you can't do that. You can't do that in life. You can't do that especially in the news and journalism. And so when he says, I'm a journalist going to Russia, he's no journalist. It was like when Matt Lauer on the Today Show, when they were saying, well, he's not a proper journalist. He just came out and said, hey, I'm not a journalist. I'm a host. I'm an entertainment host. He said, I'm not a journalist. And if Tucker said that, at one point he said, he did say in his defense, he said, everybody knows I'm just a bullshitter. And the court went, no, everyone doesn't know that. You have all these people that believe this now. So I'm on the side that he should get his comeuppance. And if he gets banned by the EU and has to take a step back for a couple of years, that's fine with me, because he just spouts crap and he knows it and he does it for profit. Don't like that. Don't like that at all. Drano in the house. Hola, guys. Haven't been on here in a while, but I didn't forget about you guys. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Drano. And tell us how that mainnet Z is going. That the chart is just consolidating for a while. It came down a little bit, came back up a little bit, just kind of hanging out. Needs some of that good news that you guys have been promising. Let's hear about it. Let us know I'm sure Pitmonk would let us know anyway. But Carmen Crypto says, "Hi King, hey Chuck. Got a good little community here this morning. Thanks you very much. But I did want to bring up what Carmen said. Carmen says, I went to a private event of 200 peeps hosted by the owner of the Fontainebleau Hotel and Casino. Got to meet Mark Davis, Lady Gaga, Wanda Sykes, and just to name a few amazing events." Sounds like it was terrible for the great Carmen.
Gaga? I've always wanted to know about Lady Gaga. She seems so beautiful. Listen, I think she's absolutely... Is she as cute as she is on TV? She seems like she is. I mean, when I mean cute, I mean like from a... Like, she seems so like fun. Like,
she also a genuine person, and I suspect that she is.
I feel like that, like, but I don't know because it almost seems like too genuine, and that's so far, you know. Like, I expect like, I don't know, like Eminem to be like flip a bird and be like get the, you know, like. So, but she seems like a very genuine, real person.
You know what? I agree with that, and Pedro, that just goes to show that I think that if you're while the people like Tucker and Alex Jones and Joe Rogan and stuff, the people that take advantage of people and tell them what they need to think are successful. I think the most successful and a larger percentage of people are successful because they're genuine.
I like Joe Rogan, man. I think Joe Rogan's awesome. I mean, I know you may not like me when I'm saying this, but I like Joe Rogan. I've actually had friends of mine who've met him, talked to him, and he's just a genuine cool dude. He was like hanging out at a bar up in Texas, and they were doing some stuff. And he's like, "What's up?" And the guy came up to him, and was like, "What's up, man?" And he was like, and the guy goes, my friend says, "Dude, you're kind of short." And the guy goes, he goes, "I am." He goes, "I expect you to be bigger. You look broad." He goes, but he was like a nice guy, and you know, he let the guys come in. You can go up. He's, you know, I think he does have probably a big, when he's out in the entourage, he must have had like some type of security guy. Entourage. Entourage, bro. That movie was.
I love that show so much. I loved it. One of the my problem with the show though is that one of the first rides I took as a kid when I was born was in my grandfather's suicide door Lincoln Continental. And of course, I don't remember it, and but I was told about it for years. And after a while, I got to love that car, and I really love that Lincoln Continental. The giant, and the trunk is 6 people could live in the trunk of that car. Suicide doors, whether hardtop or convertible, I don't care. The 1962 to 1964 version, 65, it started to curve a little bit more. My grandfather, I think, had a 66, and so in the 90s, I almost bought one. I was this close to buying one. It was like $8,000, and I was like, it's just too much money. And I would have stretched it if I had someone to store it well, but I couldn't. And it's been just absolutely my most famous, or not famous, it's my car. That's what I want. If I could just had some extra money to buy a classic car. And so then I was working again. I was saving up again, and then that show Entourage came out, and all they did was roll around in their 1964. Lincoln Continental with suicide doors, and the price of them things on the aftermarket, they tripled in like 6 months. And I'm like, you mother beep 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 ruined my dream. And then it kicked it off to the car crowd, and especially in East LA and parts of Miami where they put the 40-inch rims on them and stuff like that. And ruined the whole market for them. And there's very few of them on the market now at any sort of decent price. And I've had to give up on it. That stupid show. I love the show, Turtle and the guys. I loved it so much, but they ruined the market for my 64 Continental.
You know what, man? When this show blows up, when we got millions of people and we got millions of dollars coming in, all this stuff, right? We got to go hang out over in East LA and just be like, "Orale vato." You know what my dream? You know what my dream car is? 57.
Cruising down the street in my 6'4". You know, do your Easy E cruising in your 64 Impala through Compton?
No, definitely.
No, not you.
I get beat up. I'm a 40-plus-year-old man. I ain't trying to relive my youth, but I would enjoy.
Oh no, no, maybe the white guy would do all right in Compton. Maybe not the Mexican descent guy.
They'd be like, "What color are you?" I'd be like, "Man, I'm brown." That's what no, what color? No, I'm brown. I'm just brown.
Matt Rhodes, welcome to the discussion here. Thank you very much. And that's why the Stag token is successful. A bunch of genuine Chads behind the project. We're partnering with like-minded projects in position to go far in this crypto world. Matt, thanks for joining us and talking about the Stag. I think we've seen you here before. Maybe? No, maybe not. I think I've just seen you in a TG room. But thanks for joining us. Make sure, I guess in order to comment, you had to subscribe. But please let your friends know that this is the place we'll be talking about the Stag. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, someone, but Stag is going to be the first project that launches on the Operation Phoenix launchpad coming up. And we'll be using their sell-less, means no swap liquefy function technology in their contract. Matt says, I am correct. All right. Well, it's good because I can't remember. I think it was DeFi Sean was posting that if they accept you as a project, that means they vetted the project and is legit. And if it's legit, we'll talk about them on the show here. As if, by example, we already have.
If you do something stupid, we will talk about it as well.
Right. And then if you do something really stupid, you'll be on the other show, Rugged, Ruined, and Wrecked.
Bro.
Yeah, a lot of you new people. I haven't done a Rugged, Ruined, and Wrecked in a long time. A lot of you new people probably don't know. I have another show that's it'll be coming out in its 4th season, talking about all rug pulls, honeypots, other scams, and mismanagement of crypto projects. And it's kind of funny along the lines of my dry humor during it. Anyway, let's quickly talk back to Drano has been talking about, and I always know he's only on for a limited period of time here. But he says, it'll be a top 10 crypto. All right, I'll have to say, prove that to me. I mean, top 10 is a lot. But their DEX is launching, he says, and it's launching on the 16th so far. That's good news. That's good news. Maybe that'll give us some good price action there and get things moving. For that, but not only that, but it'll be good to see another chain come out with low costs and high processing. Is that the right word? High processing capability, something like that. Mm-hmm. He says, "If you know, you know." Let's see. Matt says Stag is the first to partner with Operation Phoenix on their built-in swap. Yep. That's can only be good. That's good. We're getting the Operation Phoenix guy. I guess I was going to mention to them when we were going to talk about them, but we already started talking about them. I'll just have to sidebar this one for a minute. There are a number of YouTube guys in that project that were all kind of influencers for SafeMoon. A lot of people from the community, and one guy in particular who's very interesting. Is a guy that maintains their Reddit channel, and he maintained one of the SafeMoon Reddit channels, but more to the point, he did research on kind of wallet research to kind of see if there's any shenanigans going on behind the scenes, and he also posted about that and also the comings and goings of what's going on in the project almost on a daily basis, and he's doing that for Operation Phoenix. And if you want to go over to Reddit and find the Operation Phoenix room, you'll find some good stuff being typed literally day 5, day 6, day 7, day 8. Here's a summary of the AMA. Here's a summary of this. And he puts enough time into doing it. I can't remember his screen name. It's like Danny D or Daddy D or something like that. And he puts together very accurate discussions of things, and people ask questions. Hey, I don't understand why... how can one guy have a bazillion tokens and another guy doesn't? And he goes, oh, well, he did A, B, C, D, E. This is how it happened. And explain things very, very practically for people. And they seem to have a good group of guys and girls, I guess, of non-gender, binary, blah, 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 blah people. Got to make sure I say the right thing so I don't get canceled.
Right. Crack dude, we
would look at that. The stream just died. We got canceled. But anyway, they got a good group of guys there, and they've been fighting off. They had some big wallets in their private sale and pre-sale that even though when they apparently in the private wallet people were supposed to be vetted and not sell, you know what happens? They fucking sell, right? They sold, but the project did a very good job fighting back, and and maintaining their floor. They have like almost 50% of the tokens staked. And so in order to unstake, you have to emergency withdraw with a 25% penalty. So very few people have done that. And they have kind of weathered the storm of the sellers after launch. So it seems to be primed for good stuff. So with adding an actual launch into it from Matt with Stag, I don't know if you're just a fan or part of the Stag team, but it seems that they're moving along the roadmap, and that's a good thing. Doesn't prove anything. Doesn't like this is why we have the not financial advice things running, but it doesn't prove it. We're not telling you to go to buy it. Just from our opinion, or at least from my opinion, I won't speak for Pedro. My opinion, they seem to have the things going together, and of course, I do have to say that I am invested in that project, and I'm not telling you to go buy it because of that. But it does. So they are doing the right thing. The guys are all doxed. They've got a real company. They got all kinds of stuff going on. So, good things.
So one of the things I do want to. So cool, great, love that. The other back thing I want to bring up just some news. So there's a lot of news going in, and I think this is almost. I think this silly is the idea of that the U.S. dollar is going to collapse to zero.
Come on,
I've seen a lot of that stuff.
The people that are saying that are all paid shills by Putin and Z.
Yeah, I'm saying this. That's not gonna happen.
No,
there's so much news flying around these crypto news sources and stuff like that.
Because crypto news is always guaranteed to be right, and well thought out.
Very well thought out. Very well thought out. And I just want to make sure, like, look, Bitcoin is a great thing. And I think, Tom, I sent you the thing on what do you call market cap of like Microsoft and Apple, and then you literally have like Bitcoin, right? And Bitcoin, I think it's probably maybe sitting at. Let me pull the dominance here real quick. Where is it?
Yeah, if you can show that graphic, I don't. When it's in TG, I don't have access to be able to put it on the screen here. Or just let me know where you got it, and I can go on the web and get it.
Yeah, I'll pull it up here real quick. I'll show you because it'll be simpler.
Pull your screen back up here.
Give me 1 second. So this is what's interesting is that
I'm looking at your Bitcoin chart.
Yeah, no worries. Give me a second. So, and you should be able to see that right there. Yeah, perfect. And it decided I wanted to do that. Don't do that. And now you're doing that. Why do you gotta be
no.
Stop being a douche? Come on. Don't be a douche.
Yeah, I pulled you off screen while you sort that out.
Thanks. All right, we should be good. All right, we're good. All right, I'm going to show you over here to your other crypto project. So look, gold sitting at $13 trillion overall. Okay, Microsoft sitting at about $3 trillion. These are the top assets in the world. Apple, it's 2.9. Google 1.8, Amazon 1.7. Then you have Nvidia, and then obviously, like we see fluctuations with Tesla all the time. When he pulls his shenanigans, it sells off, and then it rebounds and pushes back up. But in the same sense, look at where Bitcoin is sitting at. We're probably maybe $1 trillion now, where we're sitting. But at literally 50,000, okay, there's just, what are people going to use for the dollar? I mean, they're going to use Bitcoin. There's just, from a market cap, even if we were to take all the money in the world and put it into Bitcoin, let's say right now, do you know how long that would take? Just to do that, it would take 5 to 10 years, literally trying to transition it. So that's just not going to happen. An infinite system going into a finite system just won't happen. You know,
yeah, here I got the graphic up on my screen now. On the background, so you can read it. But this is interesting for sure, because it lays out, to get an idea of where we're going here, gold at 13.7 trillion, Microsoft at 3 trillion, Apple at 2.9, Google at 1.8, Amazon 1.7, Nvidia 1.7, and Bitcoin at 0.8. And that's probably, I have to imagine that's already old, right? I mean, if we go to
no, I mean, not really.
Market cap.
Yeah, we're probably sitting about $1 trillion now. I mean, 200 million or 200 billion has gone up.
Yeah, 979 here on the great.
Yeah, market cap.
Here,
Yeah,
market
there you
cap
go.
here.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not.
It's going to be sunny
I'm
in
not
Quebec
saying-
today and raining in Ontario.
It's going to snow. I guess where I'm at, it's supposed to have a huge snowstorm. So I'm just like, oh, that sucks. But anyways, I don't even talk about it. But let's talk back. Let's go back to. So here's the thing. When it comes down to it, like, yes, is the U.S. dollar kind of floundering around? Yes. Okay. Are we seeing a bunch of stuff? And is there going to probably be a major drop here soon? Probably. You know what I'm saying? But for it to lose its dominance in the world, that's silly talk. Now, can it happen over the next 5 to 10 years, 15 years? Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, like as things start to change in the world, as we start to see.
I don't think it can. I don't think it can change in 15 years. I'll have to argue that one on you. I think it has to take a full generation of risk managers needs to rotate through work, and the new people have to come in without dollar dominance training.
Yeah.
Because there's just no way you can get a guy our age. We're working at some firm as a financial analyst, and the boss calls and says, "Hey, we want to use this new BRICS currency, whatever, shitbox X currency, and do you think it's going to be fine? You think you're going to put your job on that?"
Nope.
The answer is no, you're not, because you've got 20, 30 years in your job doing that. And you know how the dollar system works, and you know when there's a little blip in the economy over here, you know how that trickles into that bank and this credit rates and do this, and you've got things figured out into like half percentage points or eighth of a percentage points, in your spreadsheets. And all of a sudden you put this big unknown in it, like, wow. So that'll be a no. And the younger people are going to have to come in that grow up in that system and know how its credit system works, and know how, know how to reassure the boss they won't lose their money, either investing or if they're just doing supply chain stuff and you got to, buy something in another country. And so I think it'll take not just like a generation, dad to son, 15, 20 years. I think it'll take a full career of people, but it'll have to be a full career of people that are fully into the new system. It's just, I just don't see how. There's no way you can take the top banks in the world and say we're not going to use the U.S. dollar. I mean, their whole life and their profits, everything is done in dollars. Even in the Euro banks, they have just as much it's just as many dollars in their bank as euros.
But here's the thing, right? If you see a lot of collapse within banks, you start to see craziness, right? We're first going to see a transition into CBDCs so they can quickly actually move things into correct stability, right? They got to bring back stability to the system, and the quicker they do it, the better, because then it helps with collateral damage, with losing banks and through stocks, things is falling apart, right? I think we would see a first transition into the CBDCs, and then from the CBDCs, we would then see a switch to a different type of dollar, right? And then it could easily be able to go into some type of digital, whether that's the dollar or whether they create a new system out of that. I think that could easily be done over the next 10 years if we do see a complete catastrophe in the financial system. Because I mean, the reality is we are creating new different types of products in the financial system that is literally worse than the system that we used in 2008, and it's all hearsay. So we could see a drop in real. It could happen with if we see a nuclear bomb happen in the financial systm,
right, in the financial system, right. And there's no doubt that that's a possibility. That's absolutely a possibility.
And a very viable. That's because with the new stuff that they're creating, the fact is that the Fed literally has been negative for a full year. Like, they have not made any money for almost a full year. And their balance sheet is crazy. Now, I'm not I agree with you, Tom. I think if this is going to happen, it's not going to happen overnight, and I don't think. But I think 5 to 10 years. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen within the next 5 to 10 years. I say it could happen over a period of 5 to 10 years if we have a financial system that implodes on itself. And then literally, they would literally have to create a new system of democracy to be able to govern this. And I don't know. I think it's nuts. But again, jumping back to what we were saying, because there's all these, I don't know how much our audience listens and looks at what's actually happening into, just like crypto news. But sometimes we do get people in here who talk about craziness. And so I always want to just be like, that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. What's going to happen is Chuck wants to know, are we going to push through 50K BTC or have a pullback? Chuck, I think we're going to push through it. I think it's going to happen. Pedro, why don't we get into a couple charts and see what happened over the weekend? I think one of the other things that I mentioned while you were gone was Matic and booming, or at least not booming, but starting to turn around. But anyway, let's hit a couple of the usuals for the people and get some chart talkings going on here.
So you can see here that we hit 50,000 almost to a T. We got to the highs of 52.83. When we go down to the smaller time frames, I want to see a major sell-off that comes in, right? And you can see right here, there's a lot of battling going on between buyers and sellers on the current previous candle. You can see we have a ton of red volume going in. So if we go into the 5-minute, you'll sit there and see that this volume is primarily buyers, right? And not a lot of sellers stepping in. So I think we very much easy could push through 50,000. And as you guys can see, the push up over the last few days, right here, we've seen pockets of push up, but now over this past weekend, hence I think a lot has to do with what's going on with Chinese New Year as well. I know that there's a lot of good omens for the
if 1.4 billion people want to pump the price, then feel free.
And I even think about that. I'm also thinking about people around the world who are Chinese who celebrate, right? Taiwan, right? Which is very much, even though they're a different nation, it's very similar cultures. And so in that same sense, you have, maybe it could very much be tied to the new year and what's actually happening. So are they going to sell off? We'll see what happens. But if the next real supply area is sitting at this 59, 57 area, and potentially seeing a sell-off from there, coming back down, testing these lower levels. Now, it all depends on how it gets there, right? If we just shoot up there within a day or two, I'm expecting a pretty deep retracement. But if we kind of, we see it looking,
the pricing bracket of those red lines here is covered by your picture. What do those lines represent there for pricing?
So this is the 59,000 area to the 57,000 area.
Well, that's right below the all-time high. So,
yep.
What was the all-time high? 67.
Yeah, it was
not wick high, but like just practical all-time high in there.
I would say about 67.
Okay. All right, well, we're getting close.
Like this is here's the wick high is, I think it's 69 or 68,000. But I would say this is where you had your lower highs come in, right? Boom. And then you had the higher high, and then you had the lower high, and then we saw the sell off right here come in. So like this is the level of, we had the support that was broken here. We saw a bounce. So when we come in, this is going to be an area of really a lot of strong sellers here. There are a lot of people here that kind of got hurt, and if they're holding, there might be a lot of people holding here that they're just going to say, I need relief now. Okay, I'm back at zero, and instead of negative, XYZ, they might see a sell-off. And so at this point, when we come to here, if this keeps continuing high and we keep seeing this push up, I do expect it to see us come back down to that 48,000 to the 45,000 area where we just pushed through. And then, but if we see it consolidate and then go up and then come back down, potentially, then I'm realizing Bitcoin, when it starts to rally here, it sits in between these levels and it just chews up sellers. It's just what I realize what it's going on. So it's all going to be, if it chews up sellers in these lower levels here, then we'll expect to see some major buys again to that next level, which would be at the all-time high from a sticker level of the 68,000 mark. And then I think from there, the sky's the limit. That all of a sudden now we're into space, and how far is it going to go? So it can be really interesting. You guys want me to look at Matic, or go ahead? What you were gonna say, brother?
I was just gonna say it's really interesting here because I don't know, for the past year in the bear market, we've been talking about small little moves like, wow, between 25 and 23, it's gonna move back and forth and consolidate.
Yeah.
All of a sudden we're talking $10,000 jumps. Like it's nothing. And I realize it's percentage points and the number doesn't matter. It's more of a percentage, but still. Just getting it through your head to talk about moving from 50 to 60 in a very short amount of time, possibly could go 50 to 40. Remember, everybody, they could lose all could go to 0 tomorrow. Not financial advice.
Do we forget that we're in crypto, though? Do we forget that I've seen Bitcoin literally drop half its value in one day? Okay, so
it's been a long time since it's done that.
I don't disagree. Because I think there's a lot more buyers and sellers. But when FOMO, dude, we saw in the last bull market, institutions, even though they weren't supposed to be, they were still getting into crypto. I literally remember with Moonrock Pro that we had these institutional guys buying it at the high, and these guys work for the banks. And I'm sitting there going, like, what are you doing?
Man, they got hammered.
Buying, dude? And so it's like we're in crypto when they start to see gains where all of a sudden. Their friend who bought in at 30,000 now is sitting at, 60,000, 70,000, right? And it's like, and it's all been within like a year period, right? All of a sudden they're sitting there going, I don't want to miss out. Boom, this thing's going to go to 100,000. And then they start to research, Bitcoin could get to 300,000. Bitcoin could get to 400,000. Bitcoin could get to 1 million, right? Like literally I had people in Cobb, Connecticut. This is the land of hedge funds.
Right. It is literally the land, Fairfield County, the land of hedge funds.
It really is. I'm not joking. Like, this isn't like Pedro being funny. No, it is literally the land of hedge funds. And I picked this guy up, and he's talking about Bitcoin, and he took, I think, like 300,000. I forget exactly how much. I don't even remember. All I know is he was going to have to explain to his wife when it hit 3,000. Right, like it just it's
it
crazy.
Hit 3,000,
and it did hit 3,000. And I told him it would hit 3,000. He goes, "You don't know what you're talking about." I go, "I might not. I don't know crypto that well, but this is where like everything else isn't. There's nothing else stopping it from going to 20 to 3. I'm just letting you know." And it's just one of those things that they will get. Like, dude, this guy has worked for the banks for literally 20 plus years. He worked for the banks literally for 20 plus years, and he did that. So, well, I see the same thing, man. I still see the same thing.
All right, let's jump over to Matic. See what I was talking about that earlier to see if that has any legs to it or not from your point of view.
I will. I'm actually going to show you. I will jump to that in just a second. I actually just realized something I want to show you. Let's look at Facebook. Look at this. Look at this. I know. Mm-hmm. It went, and I'm mad at myself that I didn't get into it at around 120, because I literally told myself, I even put it on my.
We were talking about it right here when it gapped up the other day, right down here. Yes. What price was that? 7. I can't see the prices.
Yeah. We talked about it back here, right? The gap down and coming back up.
Right here we talked about it. Here. And then here,
right.
That gap up.
No. Yeah. It was right here. And this was almost a year ago when we started this stuff, right? And it was funny because now look at it. Look at this right here. Look at the amount of volume coming in. Look at this. Like this.
So you're telling me did they announce a Bitcoin ETF or something?
Right. Nah, it was their AI stuff, and Mark Zuckerberg did a great sales and I gotta admit, I actually like using Meta's. So me, I study the Bible quite a bit. I like looking at ancient Canaanite culture, all that stuff. Right? I think that stuff is just really unique. And so I straight all the other AI will not give me a straight answer about the Bible because it's religion, right? Dude, I asked it to compare and contrast and tell me its own thoughts. It actually did. I actually had to go back and compare literally in Deuteronomy, where it talks about what the king's like job is to do, and then you compare it to Solomon, and it literally contrasts. Like it literally says, you know, don't crew a gold, right? And don't like send your people back to Egypt to get all these horses and all this stuff, right? It tells them literally not, and yet Solomon does that, and so it's almost like a slap in the face to Solomon. And so I wanted to see if Meta would like touch that. And dude, they actually did a good job and talked about, well, listen, you know, the writers portray Solomon as somebody who kind of turned their back on Yahweh and walked away. And I sat there and I was like, wow, these guys are actually going. And I asked the same questions with, you know, Bart, with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Oh, I remember what it is. Anyways, and then I asked the Meta, and I was like impressed. Copilot, yeah. As Copilot, and sure enough, man, it was like right there. So I started cracking up, going, dude, and this is what he was bragging about. This is what Mark Zuckerberg was talking about. We have more data. We have more real life data. Oh, I also asked Twitter's what's his name? Grok. I also asked Grok. So I did all of them. I did Copilot, I did Grok, and they all wouldn't touch it. But yet Meta did. And so I have to sit there and go, you know what? This jump might be for a real reason. You know, like we're talking, it's 100 points. It jumped from basically $400 or $396-ish all the way to $557, and it got up to $585, bro. Almost $100, man. So again, this is like your mom and pop people can't do this. Okay, they can't. They just don't. They can't. There's just so much. You don't understand how much money you actually need, and for all of them to sit there and say they're all going to do it, just that. This is institution.
Right. Yeah, that's not GameStop stuff doing that.
Okay, now where are we at? We're at all-time highs. All-time highs.
Facebook's at an all-time high, you're telling me.
No. Before it gapped up, we were at all-time highs.
For Christ's sakes.
Right, exactly. So you're telling me that when we see BTC, which is all the rave now, and everybody and their mother is talking about it, right? You're telling me that
time
they're
to
not
sell.
Going to sit there. Dude, I think they're gonna go from 69,000, bro, and they're gonna just yap it. They're gonna just push it up, and I think it's gonna be just like with Wolf of Wall Street. When he jumps back in, and this game is going again. It's like, and all of a sudden we start seeing, you know, scam coins just, populate like zits on teenagers, bro. When we start to literally see just like the nutsness of the, you know, the altcoin craze, and we're going to see, I don't know, micro coins. I think we're going to see the same thing. I do. You know, and we'll see Bitcoin maybe hit 200,000, 300,000, and then all of a sudden, it's just going to go boop.
Well, as long as you lay a big short on it, then we're all good. All right, let's look into Matic and EDA for the doc here.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I like to.
We get carried away now and then. We had a lot of serious shows last week with DYOR Dex and Operation Phoenix, so that takes up our BSing time. So gotta get it out of our system.
Now it's really interesting to sit there and see that we didn't see a big pump. You know what I'm saying? Like over this weekend. So Cardano, we do see a position building up right here. As you guys can see, I am seeing some defense here. If you guys look at the wicks here, you can see that it's defending and it's holding this area of the 53-cent mark. I do like this area, the fact that it's holding, and we do have a strong kink in the 8-period moving average where we're finding some support on that 50. So I said if it pushes through that 50 and we start to find support, I want to see kind of a sell-off and push back up. From a standpoint of are we going to now continue, I think it's viable to sit there and say we've closed and we've had okay volume. It ain't like this right here, right? Where all of a sudden we're seeing a ton of volume here. But it's decent volume. It's about half volume here. And so we could see it pop into the next 75-cent mark area. Are we going to see a sell-off from there? We should see a sell-off. This is a pretty strong higher time frame. This is a weekly and a monthly zone at this level here. So for myself, as I'm looking at this, I would expect to see us push down to go up. Now, as you guys can see here, we did push down for the month a little. For last month, we came in and got buyers, and now we're pushing up. So I expected us to come back down to touch this 38.57 area, but it's looking like this is where it's going to be. So it's potentially going to go up to that 75-cent area, to the 90-cent area. And we've got a pretty clean push up there. Now on the back end, if anybody is familiar with ICT trading, now I don't trade as an ICT trader, but we have. Oh, what's up?
I'm not familiar with it.
It's just basically a style of trading. The guy's actually pretty good. His style is pretty decent. But ICT, as you guys, this is a fair value gap sitting right here. So it's something to be paying attention to. This is sitting at kind of the all-time highs of the recent last push up. So I'd be mindful of also a little resistance level coming in between that 73 to 70 cent area. But as you can see, we have a fair value gap with, in addition to it, you also have a supply area that is on multiple time frames, higher time frames. So it's something to
Chuck says vote for Pedro.
Vote for Pedro. Pedro, I'll make all your wildest dreams come true.
No, that's the feet channel over on Kick.
Dude. Yo, I have never understood that kink, man. I was like the one thing, like it's like the one thing I'm like, I mean, listen, I don't, it's not like I'm like, anyways, yeah. We don't need to talk about it. Yeah. Right. But nobody likes a girl with like crusty feet. But hey, who doesn't like a girl with nice feet?
No, that's too far. Reverse. Time machine.
So long story short, let's go ahead and jump right in into a couple of these other ones. Oh, awesome. When you look at like bonds and what's actually happening here, it's really interesting to see.
Wait. Hit Matic first before you move on.
I already did. Oh no, I did not.
No, you hit Cardano.
Yeah, Cardano. Yeah, I'm all over the place, guys. Sorry about that. Here we go. Boom. Now Cardano came back. We tested that 8-period moving average. We're playing off of this pretty strong, so it's actually looking pretty good. We came and tapped it, and tap around. We came back down a little to actually gauge the buyers, and we're pushing up. You guys can see here on the weekly that it did get above that 100-day period moving average. We pierced it, and now we're starting to find some volume in. So, excuse me, not volume. We're starting to find some momentum in this as it's starting to push through. The biggest issue here is that even though we bought through right here, we put in this lower low here, and so for me, it's like, is this a way for them to push you up? We're still we're pushing up first thing. This is still the first part of the month. So we pushed up first here, and now I would expect to see, something to come in and stop it. Matic itself is still, like, when it comes to volume, you can see that the volume isn't really pushing up here. It's not like it was looking like Cardano, or you could see the buyers stepping in on Cardano and kind of starting to push it. This one, you can see they did try to push it down, but now it's kind of coming up, but it's the first part of the month.
Right. So here, I just quickly pulled up on my screen here some news about Polygon that came out, I guess it came out today. Well, the article was written today. Maybe it came out yesterday. But they want to be able to bring into their version of EVM chains zero knowledge proofs. Like I just talked about this the other day, having the ability to have privacy on the blockchain, to be able to conduct yourself and prove who you are, and act, and have institutions be able to do stuff, but not have all of your money out there for everyone to analyze. And so it says, last week Polygon introduced the Type 1 Prover, a technology that can facilitate EVM-compatible chains to adopt zero-knowledge proofs. The Type 1 Prover is expected to be released later this year. Will be incorporated into Polygon's software, so I can make an attachment to the project's previous Type 2 Prover, blah, 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 which lacked compatibility. So I guess they've summarized, they've been working on zero-knowledge proofs for a long time, but it was mainly only working with Polygon before, and now they'll be able to work with all EVM chains or something like that. That's probably what's driving it. We have this discussion all the time about privacy, and that ultimately all blockchains are going to be all level 1 blockchains will either be just regular public as they are now, or have secrecy or zero knowledge in them, or they'll remain open, and all the layer 2s is where people will actually transact, and the level 1s will just become settlement things for batches of transactions where you don't get any information anyway about individual people and things like that. Chuck says, vote for Krusty, Pedro.
I started cracking up, man. That was actually pretty funny.
Matt says, I apologize I missed it earlier, but could you analyze the stag chart if you've already done it? No, I don't. Hey, Matt, why don't you send us a link to that? If it's not doesn't come up immediately on Pedro's thing, then he'll need a link to it.
Give me 1 second. Here we go. And we'll see. And what was the end? Then never mind. Oh wait, if you're already done it, then never mind. All right, Stag.
To be honest, I thought Stag was just getting ready to launch. I didn't know it was already launched.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Maybe it's gonna be right here.
Oh,
right,
the hip hop. We'll get a copyright strike for that.
Right.
That was Biggie Smalls. There, Chuck just posted the contract number. I can read it to you. It's on BSC. Just I guess you can find it on PooCoin or Dex Tools.
PooCoin. Man, it's so crazy. I remember the first time I heard PooCoin, and I was like, "What?"
No,
like I was like,
"What?
Are you serious?" And sure enough, I was like, "This thing is crazy, absolutely crazy."
There's Stag.
There it is, Stagging. All right, we'll call it Stagging. Oh, all right. Here we go. Shoot. Dang, this is the daily chart. It's been in for a minute, and we started at 1 cent. Is that correct? 1 cent? Am I tripping? Is this the right chart? You're telling me this thing's had 140x?
And in the past 10 days, it's
literally gone from 10 days.
it's ripe for a sell-off.
Yeah. Is that real? Is this real? Yes. Just to start with low liquidity. What is the market cap on this? That's a lot. People are happy. No, that's not good. Snaps. People here have a lot of money right now in this. How many holders?
Yes, a ton of new investors because of the Phoenix partnership. I missed that it was already in existence. I read that TG room all day, and I thought it was launching on Operation Phoenix, not launching a second contract on it. Only 7,000 tokens remain in PancakeSwap.
Oh wow.
Well, the low liquidity thing is obviously a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, let's see, what do they got here for liquidity? Market cap. It says market cap's 129,000. liquidity of 10,000, 30 BNB. Wow, this thing is still tiny.
It's a baby. It's literally a baby.
I know. Yeah, that needs to pull back by about half, and then
at this low, 129, like this to me, this is a no-brainer. I would just put in like $100. Like if this thing goes to 1 million, that's a 10x. I'm like, this is like a no-brainer to me. Like a quick 100, and if this thing does like a freaking, like, because you just don't know, right? Like you just don't know, especially it being on KuCoin, right? And it's Binance, so it's not even, it's not.
Hey
like
Matt, why don't you take a screenshot here of us talking about the stag chart when the stag thing is rolling through the Chiron here on this side, and post it in the TG room. Like now's a good time.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over some of you. What? No. Oh no. Wait, let me. Okay, go ahead. Well, let me do a analysis of it real quick. Boom. Where are there? You are. Come here. All right. Get over here. All right. Oh, there you are. Pop. And let me go ahead. Okay, I'm gonna grab this.
Pidmonk, I'll buy some for the portfolio because the viewers kindly asked me to. But for you new people, it's our show portfolio. It's a paper trading portfolio. So we're not seemingly pumping certain things over another in real life.
Yeah.
But we'll do it. I think it needs a small pullback first. So if someone sells like $200, I bet you it comes down like 50%.
All right, cool. So these are some of the areas that I would look for pullbacks at. Definitely right here. Coming back down and find resistance around that 90-cent area. And then Chuck, did you get into this? Buy some for the portfolio.
Hey, Chuck's been around a lot lately. When he's got the itch, he's into everything. He's mining, he's meme coining, he's in projects, he's in real things.
He's not even playing. He's got
that October and November 2021 Twitch. That's what he's got.
That's what he got.
It's a bull run.
It's soon.
It's like in Vegas when you show up with your paycheck in Vegas. You're like, ooh yeah. And then there's shame. Come on, only 4 months later, there's shame. Oh, he lost it all.
Just make sure you sell. Listen, I will get so mad at you, Charles, if you go through, man, and you become a multi, like you're worth $20 million. My dude, if you don't take off half of that, okay, like it's better to make sure you have $10 million in the bank, okay, and only be worth, if it skyrockets, right, and you're worth 500 million, okay, or even $1 billion versus you get to 3 billion, 4 billion, you have so much money that you literally, when you sell, it's nothing. Like, or other people start selling. Just make sure you have some money. We talk real millionaires this time, or fake one lag. No. I'm talking real millionaires, bro. Like, because here's the thing, you're gonna see these institutions, like I was talking about. We just went over Facebook, okay? And like I said, like they're going to get caught up in the FOMO again, right? Their friends who literally is their their best friend who got into Monkey Inu who scratches my butt.org, right? And he became a multi-millionaire. And then the other guy goes, well, I'm going to get in, right? We'll see that again, just like we saw in the last stupid run. Well, not stupid run, but bull run. And on that back end, when that happens, just know it happened last time. Cash out. Like cash out, put some of that into dollars, put some of that into real gold, real silver, right? Buy, if you walk out and if your portfolio is sitting at $500 million, which I know people who were at, like no joke, like real, and they let that thing go all the way back down, and I'm sitting there going like, that is dumb. And a lot of it was in like crap coins, got in some really good stuff, and they just thought this was going to go to the moon, and I honestly didn't know. I was like, oh, maybe you're right. It's not going to go down, and that person ended up basically like $200,000-$300,000. So, and we're talking big, huge money. Take that money, put that into institution, meaning buy a property, get somebody to run that. Go through and have your friend who owns property, who understands property, go in and help you buy some property. And this is not financial advice. So obviously, it's not for educational and entertainment purposes only. But like, take that money out. Don't let that thing come back down.
All right, we'll keep Chuck's trading style in mind here, but he points out, he says we'll be talking to a real millionaire this time, or a fake one like last one when we were all millionaires for like a couple hours.
Yeah.
Chuck says my position on Phoenix is nice. That's what I'm most excited about. I am too. I hope that does very well. And it's along with the mainnet Z. I got just some play money in that, but I would like to turn that into some money for some new shoes. But back down to our super chatter of the day, Kaching. He asks about Zeta again. We brought it up the other day. Why don't we go and check out Zeta on Cosmos? Pitmonk says, I plan to be your millionaires club. And then we'll all get our Lamborghinis and private jets and go. Our FBO will be millionaire. Well, that's where we'll refuel our private jets and millionaire.
I don't know. Like, this is the one thing that I promise I'd never do. If I get to that point where I have stupid money, I will still fly.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
Why? Why do you say that?
Because once you can get in a private jet and get somewhere in like an hour instead of taking 3 or 4 hours because you got to deal with the logistics of it, all of a sudden you're used to it. Trust me.
The thing is, okay, fair enough. You know what? I don't know. I just am not that. I'm not that bougie of a guy. You know what I'm saying? I could live.
Really but well. You will. Remember, Warren Buffett famously said, he stayed away from private jets for like 65 years of his life, and then I think it was his wife said, "Honey, this is BS going. I understand you're flying first class, but will you please?" Oh no, I'm sorry. It was Bill Gates. Bill Gates said, I said the same thing. And Bill Gates was famous for leaving rental cars just like at the curb in front of the airport and running to his commercial flight. Then he got his private jet and was like, oh, I get it. And Warren Buffett said, it's a waste of time, waste of money. And then Warren Buffett changed to saying they are indispensable. Chuck says, wait, Pedro, you don't have to buy it because Chuck says you can just ride with him.
All right, roger that, man. I'll be cool with that. Yeah, you ain't gonna charge me though, right? Shoot. The thing is, I'm cheap. I am cheap. I am a true Mexican. I am so cheap. Anyways.
All right, bring up Zeta for Kaching here, and we'll have to look at Dimension too, because I'll bring up the portfolio. It's probably that was a big winner for us.
What was Zeta's Zeta? BNB. No, that's not it. Let's try this right here. And it's on BNB, right?
I don't know. Cosmos is Zeta.
All right.
Yeah, Dimension in our portfolio is up $300. We bought $1,000 worth of it the other day. Made 300 bones. Very nice.
Why is it not pulling up? Why is it that I...
BNB is that's in the profits. Crypto Mike, we were giving him hell for a long time when BNB went down to 274 or something like that, but now it's up and we're in profits. We're in profits on mainnet Z.
Nice. And nope, this isn't it. Let me jump to... Here we go.
ZETA. Zeta.
Z, thank you. Forgive me, ZE.
Pidmonk says NetZ will be pumping next weekend. Keep your eyes on it. Oh, we're going to keep our eyes on it, all right. You're darn right. We want that to go up. It's in our show portfolio here. We want to be able to...
nice.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Perfect. It came down, hit our area right here. You can see this is where it played. This was, I remember this. Yes. It was right here. We had just launched. It was coming back down. And I said, we want to see it come back down because there was hardly any data for me to look at. So I had to go to the 4-hour chart.
Right. But now I remember this one too. Yep. And it bounced right off it, went right back up.
Yep. So you can, it's looking good. Let's see, check out the volume. Nice volume at decent levels, and it's looking to break out. Let me see here how many transactions this is actually happening off. If it's these last few transactions, was this a one? No, it's not a singular. What happened recently to make it pop?
I mean, what's the news on that, Kaching?
Kaching, did you get in at the level that I talked about? For the retracement. Here, Joe, you can remember me. Zeta, Pedro. Z will be pumping this week. Keep your eyes on it.
Wait. Zeta's up from $1.60 to $2 just today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
For Christ's sake, why don't we listen to our audience and buy these things?
Yeah, I mean, you good point. I mean, the reality is this is. We got to be really careful because... I don't mean
I mean for our portfolio, the show portfolio.
Oh yeah. Oh, like I said...
Our risk level's totally different than that.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I said we want to get in about 40% right here. Remember I talked about this. We want to get in at this level right here, if we're going to get in, and then the rest of the 60%, we're going to get in down at this level here. But we want some of the portfolio, because if it falls below this support area, then we want to get in at the lower level. That's why you always get in with about 40%. And if you capture that 40% and it pushes up, great, right? If it doesn't go below, well, you still got more money for other things. Instead of going into one thing 100%, right? You come down. So let's hypothetically say we actually did it, okay? And we got in at the $1.13 to $1.11 area with 40% of $1,000. I know you always want to drop in more money than that, but let's just be smart. Right, we got in right here at the 113. Right now it's in at 2.8. So what we want to do is we want to sell off of this. So 40% off of 1,000 would be 400. We want to sell off now that we're at a 1x. Right, we want to sit there and sell, I would say about 60% of that portfolio, 60-70% of that, so that we now have more money to play with. And then from there, we'll see if this baby keeps rallying. We want our stop at that lower level here at that $1.11 area to see if it comes back down. I got in at $1.46. $1.40. Oh, why? Why did you not get in at this lower level here, man?
Probably he had real life things to do and missed it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Good point. Sorry.
That's usually my excuse.
So 146, you're sitting right here. All right, let me pull higher time frame.
Just to make sure you're on the Zeta chart, not the DYM chart dimension.
No, this is Zeta, bro. Look at the upper right. Oh, you can't see it because the DYOR is in. All right. Yeah, it's ZETA.
Maybe Kaching was talking about confusing. They're very similar charts and confusing where the areas where we had actually told people to get in. Whatever. The lines there show this is where you should have got in.
Yeah. So this one actually came back down to our area here. So it rallied up. I said to come back down. So $5 mark. So it pushed up, came back down, tapped in, and then went up.
Yeah, you're right. You called this one right where your green lines were. It needs to come back down to that. It did.
Yep. Boom. Came back down. We saw it rally up. Again, I would play this at 40% here, 60%. The rest is 60% at this level here. We would capture here from 560 to 540. Boom, rally up. Did we go? No, we didn't go double X. So, or we didn't get a 1X. So we would still be in it. And we just want to see, we'd want to see a 1X. We're looking at $10 area, right up at this level here. Once it breaks through that, we sell off about 60% of what we have off the 40%. So that'd be 1,000. 1,000 would be 600. So that'd be 1,000. 40% is 400. 40%. So 60. So when it hits double 10, numbers would be 800. So you would sell off 800 at the $10 mark right here. Or excuse me, you'd sell off 400 again. So we'd be profitable up to here. So wait a minute, give me 400, that'd be 800, and 60% of that is going to be 800. Come on, brain, you can do this. That'd be 80 times 6. 8 times 6 is 48. So basically about $4,800 is what we would sell off, and then wait for a retracement back down, or we rally up. But might keep an eye on Stag going through little corrections. Oh yeah, today I think being a part of Phoenix with Swapper will bring.
Pitmonk says, you guys have been calling all the charts very well. Sound advice found here at DYOR Media. I'll take all the credit for that.
Absolutely. That's all Tom.
I don't know who this Pedro guy is.
Blather on. I appreciate him just letting me blather.
Thank you, Pitmonk. Pedro has been doing a good job for sure. Ka-ching, buy high, sell low. There you go. That was the number of us from the 2021 pump believed that strategy would work out. We all know it didn't. The community is well informed too. Some good calls here, guys. Yes, the community. We do have a well informed community. I must say they brought some good projects to us. To watch. And none of them have ended up unrugged, ruined, and wrecked yet, so we're good with that. Chuck says, Pitmonk, keep an eye on Stag going through a little correction today. I think it's been part of the Phoenix Swapper. Will bring a lot of eyes over the next few weeks. Yeah, let Stag come down a little bit, and then we'll 10x that thing. How about that?
Yeah, I would expect it, because the fact is that we did get below this 8-period moving average on, was it dynamic? So let me go over through it here real quick so we can sit there. For dimension, I would look at this. The fact that we did get below that 8-period moving average. Our 20-day should probably be about here at this level here, but it is concerning to me for dimension. Just the fact is that we could not stay above that 8-period as we're coming up. So it's going to be really interesting. We need to see volume coming on dimension. Right. Okay, if it doesn't, then it will come back and test this $5 mark area here. Let's check out Zeta here. Zeta, in the same sense, it is strong like bull. So we are definitely playing off of this 8-period moving average. Be concerned if we fall below the 8-period moving average and close with volume. Okay, this is where you need to sit there and go, okay, take part of my profit and be smart about it. Okay, and again, this is the part of trading. You need to have rules. Rules. Okay, so to me, part of my rule is if we close below the 8-period moving average with volume, okay, and I see it really not even like holding it, and I see it just kind of floundering around it, I'm expecting it to come down to the 20-period and then to that 50-period or to an area of supply. So let's jump back here to
Pitmonk. I'm the same way. Let's say I'm not a trader either, but the trick is to accumulate the right ones.
Yeah, but here's the thing: just make sure that you, like, if you have a ton of money, like real money that could change.
I don't have that problem anymore.
Well, you might again.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And if that happens, what you do is you take off half of that. I mean, just take off half, and you're good. Like, put it into and I know this is going to sound crazy, but a money market account that's producing 5% annually. Okay, that's really good. Like, that's really, really good. And if you have $1 million or $2 million, right? Like 5% annually. What is that? 500? Yeah, like 500,000. Or excuse me,
it's
50,000.
50,000.
Sorry, 50,000. Sorry, wrong. That's 50,000. That's $1,000 a week. Okay, that you can put money into whatever you want for the rest of your life, literally, because I don't see interest rates going down. It's just there. It's going to stay. It may go down to 4% or 3%, but that's $1 million. That you get to play with for the rest of your life.
Yep.
You know, and if the other bag goes extremely high and just skyrockets, then great. You know what I'm saying? Then, you know, peel off parts of it and then be able to, you know, because the next bull run's going to come in the next 4 years. We're gonna have sell off again, and that's gonna be good because it's the way crypto works. You know, and that's a good thing. Anyways, am I blathering on too long?
No, but it is time for us to start wrapping up the show here today. We've been on
wow.
2 hours and
2 hours.
need to get rolling here. The list of IRL things, in real life things, is long today, and I got to get rolling.
All right, so let's check out Caspa here. Caspa fell over the weekend. We saw it push through here since this, I think Thursday was here. We're starting to push up. Boom. We're actually seeing a lot of defense against this area right here, so it's really nice.
Hey, what's this time frame here for Caspa?
This is daily.
No, I mean, I'm sorry.
We haven't been on since Thursday. Yeah, we haven't been on since Thursday.
We got some pumpage here.
Yes, we do.
Holy shit!
And so
we started looking at this thing at like in the sevens or something like that. Now it's 14's double.
We started looking at right here when it made the peak. I think it was 12 cents, and then we saw it push up. And once it put this supply wick here in, or this type of movement here, and then we started consolidating, I said we could see this thing jump back down to the lower level of that 9 cent, and then the next cent would be, because it was the 50 moving average, and then I expected us to see this drop right here.
Thanks for joining us, Matt. We will see you again on a future date.
Definitely, brother. I expected us to come back down to the 7 cent mark. I expected it. Like I said, we did not get above this. But you can see,
quickly, Chuck says he's off. Thanks, Chuck, for joining us. Appreciate it. He says he's off to mine some fiat right now, which is otherwise known as doing the rounds at work. Thank you. Go ahead, Pedro. Sorry.
It's all good. So from here, it came in over the past weekend. We've seen some real volume kind of stepping in and continued volume. When we saw some selling off go in, right? Sell-offs coming in. This thing came back with volume. It definitely came back with volume, where we saw buyers stepping in every time we saw a sell-off, and then now it's continuing. So I don't know what they're about, but something is happening with Caspa, and it's real. Looks like it's real. It's all the way down on the 30-minute. So this is a good sign. We're probably going to see a continuation here. But hopefully we got in down at these lower levels. I told you, like I said, I wanted to come down at the 200 period moving average. I was wrong on here. It did not sell off, and we stayed in this area until we're busting out. What we want to see with Caspa is a push up pretty strong with real volume, and then come back down to where the consolidation period, consolidate for a little longer at the peak or at the top of this consolidation, and then to see it rally back up again. Let's check out NetZ. NetZ is down at our lower levels here. We saw a nice little pump up, came up to the 20-day period moving average. The problem is it could not hold here. As you can see here, that 50 period moving average is sitting right here. So that's actually where it came in. You can see from the start of it, it came in and it tapped it, tried to push up, could not keep it. So now it just depends. If NetZ comes in with volume, because all of this has been traded through, it very much could come up and get above that 19 cent or that 17 cent peak. If not, then I do expect to see this come back down to that 8 cent mark for the next spot. So hopefully with the news coming out tomorrow, or excuse me, next week, this thing's going to pump above it. But there's nothing really holding it here except just that 50 period moving average, but it's already pierced through it. So it's going to be really interesting to see as we move forward. Let's check out
Jason
Raven
says, remember I said this stag will surprise everyone. Pitmonk says the entire market is about to boom. Pitmonk also says NetZ volume will increase from Friday. It's a layer 1, remember? Well, let's hope they have some projects that will launch and drive that volume.
Yes, absolutely. I can only hope the best from them,
Absolutely.
I hope the best. Now next part here is this for Raven. Raven, again, you're seeing a lot of volume. As it sells off, people are buying it. So something is happening here. Every time it sells off, people keep buying it up. Real interesting. Let's check out iron. Iron is sitting here at these levels. We've been playing in between here. Like I said, I expect to see this thing come back down to that dollar $1.30, $1.20 area where that 200 period moving average is sitting before we see the next leg up. Let's check out theta. Where are my drawings on theta? See, this is what frustrates me, bro. You see this? They just shut my stuff off at like, anyways, like look, they just. At least you get to see all the other stuff. Like there's so many times where you know what we need to do? I'm gonna start taking a picture of it and then posting it in between mine and yours chat. Dude, it just frustrates. I don't even want to talk about this now. I'm frustrated. Like I'm all butthurt. Freaking trading view, man. Be shutting down my stuff. You guys can see here. I'm still waiting for us to kind of get to this. Now that we're kind of really pumping with Bitcoin here, I do expect us to see now start blowing through these supply zones because everything kind of moves up when it moves up. So,
which project are you looking at?
This is Jasmine.
Oh,
this is one that we've been following as well. I said I want to get in at once it comes back down to the 003 area. This is the area, but you can see here now we're starting to find real support on that 8 period moving average, as you guys can see here. So it might not sell off right here. So I would expect to see, like if I start to see now that we come back and we test that 8 period, and every time we see it push up, I'm expecting us to see this really continue higher and come back tapping that 808 cent mark. So next time we see it come back down here, down to these lower levels, whereas we're talking that 8 period, that 20 period moving average as we continue to push up, that's where you want to buy in. Might not sit there and see it sell off. This big buy on, what was this, Monday, Sunday, Saturday, Friday. So this big push up right here is a nice, so you can see we came down, we tapped this area and it just pushed in with pretty decent volume. I mean, volume enough to where it's substantial to point out, right? Like here it is, it's above much of the last 50-day volume that we've seen this thing push up. So it's just the beginning of the year. So it's pretty decent. I think back here in October or December is where we had equal amount of volume really kicking in. So what is that? December. That's, I guess, 30, 60. Yeah, last 50-day amount of volume we saw a peak over this weekend. So on Friday, really interesting. B2M. I think I was talking about this, seeing a sell-off. It's consolidating right here, but this is not a like I don't see a ton of volume stepping in at this because you can see it's just dying off. You're going to need some people really to step in and push this up, or if not, it's coming down to that 844 area, if not lower than that, to that 0075. But again, if Bitcoin starts pumping, everything rises with a rising tide. All right, here we go. Here real quick, let's check out near. I know you wanted to look at near pumped hard. Volume is stepping in. You have an accumulation area, not a ton of volume, but you're seeing a pump. So we went from 280 to 330 area here, and it's coming in with decent volume at that 50 period moving average. I expect us to see at least somewhat of a resistance, but you can see here it popped up and it's looking strong. So this is not going to act as much resistance here, simply because there's not a lot of supply area. It's all been traded through. So I expect us to see near potentially come back up to that 389 area here. And we went over which one was this? Dimension, and we also went over Zeta. So yeah, that's in a nutshell. And one last little thing when we look at the big ones. Here we go. Watch list. Where are you at? Bitcoin is sitting at that 50,000. So if we do see, like, I want to bring this up again, BTC, aka Mr. Beast, aka Glamour like Taylor Swift, coming up, I would expect to see us tapping that 59, 57 area. I know that doesn't seem like possible because we've seen this, but from this moment on, there's not much. Like you can see here, right? We have certain junction points, right? Boom, we had to push through. You can see right here, we had trading points right here. But after this, it traded through. So the next spot is an easy spot to here. That's at 59. That's why I'm expecting to see us pump so easily up, because this traded through this already. There's not much here because this traded through it. But all these other ones have been just, turning points. Boom, drop.
Right.
Right. And then this comes up in here, trades into this, drops. Then it pushes through. Right. We're grinding through, because see how this is grinding? This grinds. Then it pushes through. This area I was expecting to see it drop, because this was a previous low, which was right here, to see it. That's why I expected this to real drop. But now this traded through this. So the next spot is at 59,000 mark area. So that when Bitcoin goes up, i.e. the tide, it lifts everything. So you could potentially, that's what I'm saying.
The rising tide lifts all boats.
There you go. Rising tide lifts all waves. Is it all boats or all waves? I always forget what it is. Whatever that is.
It just lifts everything.
Yeah, it just lifts everything. All right, so that's in a nutshell. Any questions for me? I know I'm kind of rambling through this real quick.
No, I think we're good for today, Pedro.
Awesome.
I think that I kind of covered the usual suspects. Learned a couple of new things today, especially about that stag group. I got to tell you, when a group has a community in it at that low volume or low market cap, it can only be a good thing. Hold on, I'm just checking some messages here real quick to see if there's anything else here.
I forgot to go over this. The U.S. debt.
Oh, I'm totally not on your screen anymore. It's kind of in the corner here. I'm getting ready to wrap it up. I do have to get going.
Yeah, U.S. debt just went over 34.2 trillion. So
that's a lot, ladies and gentlemen. That is a lot.
It's scary.
Yeah.
All right. And also, we're finishing this up. I'm going to bring up, there's a few things I did want to talk about a little bit. The American debt, credit cards. So check this out. This is really interesting. I've
already pulled your screen off. And I've unprogrammed it.
That's all right. You're good. Look, just understand this. America could have saved $74 billion in credit card transaction fees in 2022 alone by using blockchain. That's $600 per household. So I thought that was really interesting, but this isn't just about saving money. It's about giving everyone control and ownership of their own money. And this is from Coinbase. So I thought that was really interesting.
All right, Pedro, we got to wrap it up.
All right, brother. All right. I get it. All right, man. But I want to talk about a few of these things tomorrow. So that
bring them up. Tomorrow's the day for that.
All right. Guys, thank you for coming in.
Thank you to everyone for all the usual stuff. Ka-ching, thank you very much for your donation to us today. Super Chat, $5. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a good day again. No guests this week so far, but we'll be here Tuesday and Wednesday. And that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, as I always say, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. On behalf of me and myself and my co-host Pedro Garcia, we will see you tomorrow. So be there.